I'm Tucker Brown, and you're listening to Like a Farmer.
Hey, y'all, welcome to another episode of Like a Farmer. This is Pat. We are live in Las Vegas, Nevada at Cowboy Christmas at the Ag Gear booth. And it does not surprise me. We got Pendleton Whiskey across the way. We are having a great time. Today's episode, I'm excited about Mr. Tucker Brown. Tucker, thanks for coming on the show.
Man, I'm excited. It's really fun to be a part of this podcast and something that's making a difference like this, and the Everything Rodeo podcast that we were on earlier too. So, man, just honored to be a part.
Yeah, shout out Everything Rodeo. We've been filming a lot here in Vegas. Let's just start right here in Vegas. First time in Vegas?
Number 2, second time.
Okay, so
Second time.
You're a veteran now in Vegas. This is my first time. What are your do's and don'ts of Cowboy Christmas in Vegas?
Do's and don'ts of Cowboy.
Yeah.
I think a lot of times, first time people come here, they expect they have way more time than they actually do. As large as this trade show is, you can't see it all. I mean, I'm here for 4 days, and I never see all of it. And not let alone that there's more places besides here. There's South Point, there's Rio, there's the Plaza. So many places to look at, and nobody ever gives themselves enough time. But I also think if you know somebody that's been here, I think asking them questions will help set you up to see the things you want to see. Because there's a lot of things I think people, depending on what niche you're in, of what you want to see and what you don't want to see, depending on what's here. So, yeah, finding somebody that's been here before was helpful for me last year.
You always need a Vegas buddy.
Exactly.
Especially on the way home. Like we were talking a little bit earlier today, and when you leave Las Vegas on the plane ride home, you always need that, emotional support person.
Yeah, great description, yeah. Yeah, no doubt.
So let's start with where you came from, Tucker. So you come from Texas, and let me just go and give you your flowers. What you have been doing, especially in the media, the social media space, is very important. You're shining a light on agriculture, on our farmers, our ranchers, and that's why we started Like a Farmer.
Yeah.
Tell me about how it was growing up in Texas. Very small town.
Yeah, very small town, Throckmorton, Texas. Population 736 right now. I'm gone, so my wife's gone, 734. Add that up. But, growing up in a small town in Texas, I love it. And I was surrounded by people who at least maybe not were involved in agriculture, but knew what agriculture was, where the food came from, and I loved being a part of everything. And in a community that small, for things to happen, it does take everybody to get the school to go, to have the Halloween carnival, to have the Christmas parade. Like, all of that takes the whole community to make it happen. So I grew up, knowing that it was just being raised that it was important to be a part of local things, and to help be a part of making that a success. And whenever I went to college, I said yes to everything because that's what I thought it took. And I found out pretty quick that, maybe I don't have to be involved in everything, because there's other people who are way better and have great strengths that they can take that on their own, and now I can kind of fall into my niche. So, yeah, I love growing up in Texas on the R.A. Brown Ranch, on ranch life, and at a ranch that's very forward-thinking and always looking for, how can we improve, become more efficient, and then and be a part of the industry, success of the industry as well, at a state level and at a national level. So we love being involved, and if we don't tell our story, somebody else will, and I'll probably say that again in this podcast, but we like to be the ones telling our story.
And why do you think, and like I mentioned, you do such a great job kind of highlighting your story, but everybody else's story. This lifestyle has gotten so popular. And you're looking around now, so everybody wants to wear boots now. Everybody wants to wear cowboy hats. Everybody wants to drive a pickup truck, listen to country music. Why do you think this lifestyle now is important, right? Think about streaming. Everybody's in country music now.
Yes.
You've got TV shows like Yellowstone that are charting pretty well.
Yes.
Now people want to be in this lifestyle. Why, in your opinion, do you think it's hot again?
I think we all have a little bit of cowboy in us. I do. And, whether you're in the city, I think you still want to have a little garden of your own or have a pet, some sort of connection to livestock or soil. And I think COVID really brought that out in a lot of people, recognized that they had it. And so just given that opportunity to recognize where their food came from, that opportunity to be concerned about that because they'd been separated for a while, and being able to step back and go, hang on, I haven't thought about this before. And I think COVID changed that. And so now, more than ever, people are willing or wanting to learn from it. And man, I want them to hear that story from us, right? I want them to hear the truth from us, because whoever's been telling our story hadn't been doing us justice. They hadn't been telling the truth. So I think that's why. I think people are truly, they got a little farmer, they got a little cowboy in them that wants to be connected to livestock and soil, and now people are taking advantage of that with the TV shows, with social media, and I call it the Yellowstone Effect. That was a big part of it, and I'm riding on the coattail on my social media. I'm using it.
Yeah, and you hit it right on the head. In my opinion, there's two things. So you've got the Yellowstone Effect, but even think about COVID. Think about 2020. 2020 came. Everybody was cooped up inside, and it didn't. They had that little itch to kind of look over their shoulder and say, I want to know what it's like to be outdoors and learn how to hunt, learn how to fish, and learn how to ride a four-wheeler.
Great point.
So I think there has been some things that have opened the eyes to the non-rural Americans to kind of maybe that word hobby farmer got more popular and popular when COVID came.
Yeah.
And that's okay. When I say edutainment, what does that mean to you?
I love that word.
You came up with it. I mean, have you? Let me give you a little bit of it. Have you trademarked it at least yet?
No, I
need to get on that.
I need a trademark.
We need to get on that. Yeah.
I love that word, edutainment, mixing education and entertainment, and people have been doing that for a long time. But on social media, those are the people who I always love. Looking at people who are having really good success and what I want to be successful in. What are they doing, and how can I use it and mold that into my own? And that's what I kept finding, was that the people who had the most people at their booth, the people who had the most people watching their videos, the most people who had their things at their events, they were all entertaining. And then they would mix. They found out what the people wanted to hear or wanted to watch, and then found out what they wanted them to hear or wanted them to watch, and mix those two together. So I want to be able to entertain someone enough that they want to see it, and then slip in education in there, to where that can happen at the same time. And I think that's where the most memorable learning is done, is when it's edutainment.
I think, and we talk about it a lot, social media. It's a tool, and it can be a great tool, and obviously it can be a bad tool. But for the most part, what we're doing as a team is we're highlighting, we're sharing stories, and our everyday life, yours specifically, is something that people are interested in, especially on the food side. No, there's never been a time more than right now people want to know where their food comes from, but who's growing their food. At what point in time were you like, damn, this cell phone that I have is actually a tool? Like, did you just randomly post a video and you've gained your following? Because you've done a great job gaining a following.
Thank you earlier for the very kind words, too. It keeps kind of going back to COVID. Normally, our ranch loves marketing, and we always say, if you're not marketing, man, it's like winking at a girl in the dark. Nobody knows what's going on but you, buddy. And so, man, we never want to be winking in the dark. We always want to be marketing our product and ourselves, and being transparent. And so whenever COVID hit, we couldn't go to these conventions and see the people. And people like to buy from people they know. And so we take all of those, we're like, all right, let's go get to know more people. Let's go get the brand in front of people. And when COVID hit, we couldn't do that. And so we went to social media. I'd been doing radio for 10 years. That's kind of my little side passion.
Tell me about that. Are you still doing that? Or?
Yeah, still doing it. I just call high school football and basketball games on the radio.
I love that.
Started that in college. It was a way for me to go be able to watch my brother play.
Yeah.
I would live 3 hours away from him in college, and I wanted to watch him play, and the radio station that covered them quit that year, and they were good. I was like, man, they need to be covered. I like doing it. Let's do it. And so me and my best friend just bought some stuff, started streaming it online, and learned the hard way what a great way for me to learn, because it was people who already loved me, like my hometown, like cared for me, and like loved that I was giving this service for free. And so then it turned into like, hey, we want to cover your gas. Hey, we want to buy a commercial on there, and it just slowly progressed. And now, 10 years later, I called it the Tucker Brown Show. It took me to the Alamo Dome. It took me to Dallas Cowboys Stadium, and I got to call my brother winning a state championship. It was super fun. But I learned there how to paint a picture to where people can see it. And then when TikTok came around, that's really when I love video. Even though I do radio, I love video. I think that you can just see way more. of what's going on. But if you can paint it and show them the video, there's so much power in that, and I love that part.
I think you've hit the mecca of sports broadcasting when you've called a Texas state football championship.
Dude, and to be my brother, like, that was super special. And a group of boys that I grew up knowing, like, they were 3 years younger than me, and it was just really fun. It was special for me. And now it's not, I mean, I don't know if I'll ever call another football game more fun than watching, you know, the guys I love winning a state championship in Cowboy Stadium. Like, that may have been peak radio for me. But now social media is here, and where it's taken me has also, I don't think I've peaked yet. I think the best is yet to come.
I love that.
I don't know where I was in there. I kind of went off
that's
on a
awesome.
tangent. But.
So what are you're still working on the ranch back home?
Yes. Yeah.
So what's your time look like when it comes to doing this is what you do as a job. What we're doing right now, it's very important. You've got a great company like Ag Gear that has a great farm team, you included. Like, what's your time split when it comes to that?
Yeah, that's kind of been a 3-year transition of knowing that social media could be a really good tool for my family, for compensation, for views for the ranch, and then to just like make it a business. So at first, I remember my parents were liking it because we were seeing results, we were getting more views, and there was a time where my dad was like, "All right, hey, I think you're spending a little too much time on it." And I was like, well, let's remember, we're ranchers first, okay? And I love that they were super supportive, but there's a time where they're like, hey, all right, got to slow down. But at one of our bull sales, one of our really good customers that buys bulls every year, he came up and I was with my dad, and he said, hey, man, I just want to tell you, like, I hope you keep making those videos. I love them so much. You ought to make more. And my dad was like, I was just telling him that. And so I was like, you rascal. But I'm going to hold you to it.
Yeah.
So since then, there's been a slow transition of me spending more time doing this, but I still ranch more than I do this.
For sure. And Tucker, I'll be honest with you, it's like the people that raised me and you, whether it's my grandfather, your father, these are old school cowboys and farmers that were made to have a cell phone. They hated cell phones our whole lives, and you know what I'm talking about.
Yes, sir.
So then you get into, like, actually social media might be our best tool, especially in the beef industry. It's time, and a lot of people are doing it, direct to consumer is getting more popular.
It is.
So what you have to be great at if you're going direct to the consumer, you got to be great at marketing.
You do.
And you have to use social media. You got to use your cell phones. Like, how has that evolved when it comes to yourself and your family to finally adapting, like, all right, this is a tool that's going to help our company be successful?
Yeah, my mother is a photographer, and I have a cousin too, Emily McCartney, they're great photographers, and they kind of already knew the value in that of, we love making a really good catalog for our bull sales, and really good pictures make a really big difference. And we were paying for advertisements, and we didn't feel like we were getting a lot from that. But social media is free. You got to spend the time on it, but quote unquote free, right? And whenever we saw, when we saw we could reach those people on the daily or weekly, we just knew that it was an extension of the brand. Obviously, we were trying to find how much time should we spend on that. And I think we're still trying to figure that out. But it was clear pretty quick after COVID that was going to be an important part of our business. And goes back to not winking in the dark. Because if we don't market, even if we have a great product, if we don't market it, it doesn't matter. You don't make money raising bulls, you make money selling bulls. And I think that's what we ought to remember in agriculture.
Yeah. I think it's so funny, and we've talked about this a lot, especially on this show. These full-time farmers and ranchers are some of the best content creators, because it's not like they're paying for anything or going and doing a skit. This is just their everyday life.
Yes.
It's just waking up, tending to the cattle, tending to the crops, whatever they're doing commodity-wise. This is their full-time job, and all they got to do is pull out their cell phone.
And I think that's where the best content comes from. And at first, it kind of seemed like the people representing our industry in social media at first, after COVID, weren't people in the industry. They were super good at social media, but maybe not in the industry. and it kind of took us a while, but I think our industry is finally finding those people like y'all, like the Everything Rodeo guys, and a number of others that are finding the value in it and beginning to represent our industry and being good at social media, learning how to get more views on it. And people want that authenticity. They do. As much as they love Yellowstone, they do want to meet a real cowboy. As much as they want to know where their wheat comes from, like they want to meet the real farmer. And that, I believe that to be true.
We play a game on the show.
Oh.
You down to play a game?
I love games.
This game's simple. Q&A, okay? I'm going to ask you a couple questions. Questions are sitting here in my pocket. Q&A game presented by the one and only Ag Gear.
Oh, boy.
Right? And you got to answer all the questions. I don't know what's going to come out of the pocket. Q&A presented by Ag Gear. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right, here we go. Question number 1. I'm going to let you take a
I got to read it.
Yep.
Got it folded up good.
I did, yeah.
What is the most viral video you have created? I think the most viral video I've created was of 4th of July video.
Okay.
Of I was standing holding an American flag, kind of swinging it in front of the camera, and I said, have fun at work, or like, have fun at work tomorrow, Europe, or British, and posted on July 3rd, and then it was me running on a horse with the American flag. And so that was probably, I need to count how many million. I bet it's around 20-something million views right now. Probably more with YouTube. I haven't added it up, but that's
Is that a TikTok thing or Instagram thing?
Yeah, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, all three did super well.
How does it feel when you wake up the next day and you're like, damn, that many people looked at Tucker Brown?
Yeah, that's fun.
I mean, that's crazy, right?
That's fun. Whenever that's where you start to see the value. Like maybe even if it's just 1% of those people follow you or look at your other videos, that's still a lot of people.
Oh, and look, I think the important thing is once you go viral with something like that, now it's time. I have a platform, and I need to educate, because you don't need a 5-10 minute of fame. You're actually educating people.
Yeah.
This is a serious thing. This isn't a Hawk 2 on Broadway Nashville thing, and I'm going to be around for 15 minutes. So
that's funny. No, but you got to use those that wave of momentum.
Correct. You have to.
You got to use that, and I think a lot of times we do think about education, and we tell people, "Let me educate you," when really I like to think about it as, "Hey, let me show you."
Yep.
I got nothing to hide.
Correct.
Let me show you. And I think way more people are willing to be shown than to be taught.
Love that. All right, question number 2. That was a good one.
I'm nervous now.
There we go.
I feel like this is going to be the tough one. You just got it.
Nah, it'll be good.
Nice and easy. Okay. What is one thing you would change about agriculture? One thing I would change about agriculture. Oh, the whole agriculture landscape or a certain niche?
The whole thing.
I think the thing I would change is a part of the problem I'm trying to be the solution to, which is I wish we would be a little more gates open type of industry. I think our industry, because of people rushing to our industry right now, we feel like we have to hold the gate a little bit to like, hey, we've been doing this forever. You can't just jump on this train. And I think that's what social media has been a little bit for me of trying to open the gate. And again, not to teach people about what we do, but just to show them, because we don't have anything to hide. And if we're producing the product that we put on our own family's tables, so it's not like I'm making anything that's bad. And if it's bad, I want to fix it. So yeah, I wish and I think we're moving that way because of things like this podcast, of opening those gates and just showing people what we're doing.
I love that you said that. I'm a big proponent of youth in agriculture, and I've got to continue to get the next generation. Keep in mind, as you know, agriculture, it skips a generation. So for me, if you've got your grandfather who runs the farm and he's going to work until he's 90, 95, 100.
Yep.
Well, then it skips your parents, and then it goes directly to you. So now immediately you have millennials in agriculture.
Yep.
And with that comes social media, it comes technology, it comes all these new things. And the biggest thing that we have to do in agriculture is exposure. we have to expose what agriculture is, or
No
these
doubt.
next generations they're not even going to know they can get into it. So
Yeah.
I love that you said that.
No, great point. Great point.
Next and final question.
Oh,
Boom.
okay. If you could be anyone for a day, who would it be? Do they have to be alive?
Anybody,
Anybody, dead or alive?
dead or alive.
I think if I could be anybody for a day, I think I'd be Steve Irwin. Man,
Elaborate.
I just think that guy lived on the edge and never said no to anything. Like, as far as like, man, that might be a little dangerous, but he was like, I'm going to grab that snake. I'm going to jump on that crocodile. Like, that dude was living like he was dying his whole life. And I just think that, and that's why people loved him. And his attitude towards showing people what these animals did and how they lived is why he was so famous. And I kind of take after him a little bit on that of how can I make this fun and what's more entertaining than jumping on a crocodile. Not that I will ever do that. I won't ever do that. Yeah, it even told me a little Australian accent. Like, I love Steve Irwin, mate.
There you go. I love that.
But I would be Steve Irwin for a day, just to be able to have the guts to have as much fun as he did.
That's a great one. Part of the game is you're now allowed to ask me one.
I'm allowed to ask you a question.
Just one.
I don't like that. Okay, one question for you. Where do you see ag influencing 5 years from now?
Ooh, I like that. I think ag influencing, like I mentioned, I do think when you think about influencers, farmers and ranchers are some of the best you can have. So I think when you look at an influencer and then you look at what they're influencing, that's agriculture. I truly believe if you look at boots on the ground this year, and you know this more than anybody, this is a very down year for our farmers and ranchers production-wise. But when you look at the lifestyle that we are trying to educate people on, I always put it on pillars, right? The lifestyle is people that wear cowboy hats, cowboy boots, want to drive a pickup truck, want to learn how to cast a line, want to learn how to shoot a gun, listen to country music. That is doing nothing but going straight up. So in 5 years, not only do I think agriculture influencers are going to be some of the best, I think this is going to lead into more opportunities for these influencers. I'm encouraging these people to continue to do it. Let me tell you something. Netflix is hungry. Amazon Prime is hungry. Hulu is hungry. Paramount Plus is hungry. Like, it will lead into more media opportunities. And Hollywood, New York, Atlanta, any of that other shit cannot do this better than they can do it.
Right.
And you got to keep doing it. In 5 years, it's going to be a monster.
That was interesting. Kind of dug in that brain of yours up there. That was good.
You like that?
I'm the host now. I'm the captain now.
Love that game, by the way. Thank you. And shout out Ag Gear. These guys right here. What
thanks,
you
Ag
want
Gear.
to talk about a disruptor in the clothing game, in the apparel game? I mean, it's Ag Gear.
Yeah.
I mean, you look good in that shirt.
I believe it. Thanks. My wife thinks so too, thankfully.
That's
why I
when you're
keep wearing
supposed to
them.
say, well, Pat, you look good in that
Well, Pat, you look good in that shirt, man.
Thank you. Thank you, Ag Gear. Hey, y'all, it's Pat with Like a Farmer. Are you looking to add some local flavors to your recipes? Well, visit freshfromflorida.com today, where you can browse hundreds of delicious recipes that bring Florida freshness to your table all year round. Become a Fresh from Florida member for free and create your own menus. Save and send your favorite dishes and get exclusive access to monthly newsletters packed with fresh local recipes. I can promise you, you will be a favorite in your neighborhood. From the Florida fields to your fork, year-round freshness and flavor are just a logo away. Fresh from Florida, there's a sunshine in every bite. Hey, y'all, today's episode is brought to you by Ag America, your go-to financial partner for all things agriculture. As the largest independent financial firm dedicated to rural America, Ag America is changing the game when it comes to ag lending and leveling up finance options for farmers, ranchers, and landowners across the nation. And I'll let you know a little secret. The thing that sets this company apart from the rest is the people. They understand firsthand the unique needs of American farmers and ranchers because many of them grew up on farms themselves. They take a farmer-focused approach to finance, prioritizing relationships over transactions to help you build a stronger financial foundation for you and your family. So whether you're looking to buy land or secure working capital, Ag America has your back. Visit agamerica.com today to learn more and see how they can help you achieve long-term financial success. Because when farmers thrive, we all do. What do you think when you think about adversity and challenges that farmers and ranchers have to face? What are some of your top 3, 4, or 5 adversity pieces?
Man, I think, labor is going to be number one. But I think it goes along. Number 2, I think, will embody a lot of these issues that we have that I tend to see. I mean, we've seen a lot of famous ranches sell, and that's kind of been heartbreaking. See families break apart because of it too. And estate planning has been talked about for a long time, and it's hard to. But I wish more people would treat our industry as a business rather than a lifestyle. And I know we love the lifestyle. Yep. I know we love it. It's a big reason why we do it. But if we're not going to treat it like a business, we won't have a business very long. And I think there are a lot of people who that change scares them. And I understand. It scares me too. But enough to where they freeze. And I've seen a lot of guys who worked really hard for a long time lose the place that they love because they treat it as a lifestyle rather than a business. And I know a lot of people who jump into this industry, spend their whole life savings, and then find out, oh, wait, this is a business. I got to figure out what my break even is. I got to figure out how many bushels I can get and how much fertilizer I can afford. And that's one thing I think that would solve a lot of problems.
I totally agree. And then you look at, and we tend to turn on, and I don't care what news station you're listening to, CNN, Fox News, whatever. We are sitting here talking about a very bipartisan industry. That's agriculture. I don't care who you vote for, you got to eat. It don't matter what it is. It seems like it just doesn't get talked enough about at all in this mainstream media. I mean, even when you were watching the debates with this past presidential election, I mean, agriculture never really came up. Like, it's one of the most thankless jobs and industries that we have, but it's in everybody's daily life. I mean, what do you think about that?
I heard it once from somebody that whenever you're fed and clothed, you have more problems than those that are just hungry. Because when you're hungry, your only problem is that you're hungry. So now America has more problems because we're all very well fed and we're all clothed. We all have plenty of clean water. And I think another part of it, politics-wise, is that as a country, we have to supply. It is important for America to grow our own food. That's national security of being able to rely on ourselves to create, to do our own food. And so the Cheap Food Act, yep. Affordable Food Act, something like that. Those being able to help farmers with money from the government is important to keep them for a long time. Because as many crops as we lose, as many storms, natural disasters that come through, the government knows how important it is to protect our farmers and ranchers. I'm questioning that more and more. But I think because people are separated from ag, if they were to learn more about that, not the whole story, just the part of the story about how much money goes into help protecting our food supply, that they would be a little bit upset about that. But that's because they don't know the whole story. If they knew the whole story of how important it was for national security, to keep people in business, to keep the importance of family-owned. I mean, I believe all of that the United States believes that that's important. And with an urban population that's separated, if they learn more about that, would they be wanting to pull that away? I don't know. Those are just things that go through my mind.
I think you're spot on. I mean, I say this a lot. There's two things that I always want to be independent on as a country. That's my security, my military, and that's from national to local law enforcement, and that's my food source.
Amen.
I mean, I never want to have to depend on another country to send me my food.
Yeah, imagine having Brazil or China being they're like, actually, no, we're not going to send you any food. You're going to have to bow down to us. Like, that would be terrible.
I think maybe 2022, 2023, y'all would have to fact check me on this, that we sent out 20% exported goods, and we were the largest by far, and the main beneficiaries being Mexico, Canada, and China.
Yep.
I mean, that's crazy to think about.
That is.
I want to depend on growing it right here. And so goes to my next question. Is like, what are your thoughts on, I mean, there's a lot of dirt that's being owned by whether it's China or even corporate America, and some of them are developing. I mean, we're losing thousands of acres daily of farmland around the country.
Yeah, and I believe it to be one of those issues that we won't know until our kids are in trouble. But Americans are really good at solving problems, really good. Like, hey, it's hot. We developed air conditioning. Hey, it's cold. All of these things that people didn't think would come happened because we had that problem. And so far, man, Americans farmers have been able to raise way more produce on less land and less fertile land too. And so, yeah, we've seen those solutions, but I believe there is an end to how much you can produce on what little land you have. So, but it's also freedom. Do we want total freedom? And in my mind, like, yeah, you're free to come and steal my money. Like, that's not. I don't want that freedom.
Yeah.
I don't want everybody to have the freedom to come and take what's mine. And so I think there's a point where we have to be careful of who does own land on the United States. And that's really hard because as an American, I believe in freedom. I believe in having the right, and even if you're from another country or not, to have that right. So that's a challenging question, and also one that we're going to have to be thinking about. I bet 20 years from now, that's going to be very on the top of a lot of people's mind.
Totally agree. What's something new? You've been going around the country. You're waving the flag, praising the Bible. Like, what's some new things in agriculture that have really caught your eye, whether it be, technology or anything of just like, damn, this is actually something I never would have thought I've seen?
Virtual fence was one of them. Having a invisible fence for cattle. It's like a shock collar.
Yeah.
We have it on ours now, and that's been really cool. Facial recognition in cattle is also another one. I think we're on the verge in the cattle. I'm going to talk cattle industry real quick. I think we're on the verge of having a quick improvements on quality of beef. The improvements have been immaculate, have been crazy good in the past 20 years, and a lot of help to DNA testing cattle and figuring out what genetics are good. And that's been a lot in the registered industry, but now we're getting into the commercial industry and finding out, what's the DNA of these commercial cattle, and what can they, by looking at DNA, can we tell what these cattle can produce and what they can't produce. And I think we're on this verge of being able to find those cattle that do a lot of things right, that are born easy, grow fast, don't take as much feed to eat to grow more beef. I think all those are good things. And we can find that through the help of DNA, through the help of better grazing, using these things like virtual fence to do some really cool grazing techniques. And grazing is another one that's really big in the cattle industry right now, changing our grazing. I like to brainstorm about those things. Facial recognition has been pretty crazy in my mind. I still don't quite understand that one. But from what I do understand, it's supposed to help us figure out, what is the DNA of that animal, what were the parents, here's how it graded, here's how it yielded, and should we reproduce those genetics again?
I can't get out of my mind that there's actually a thing of a virtual fence for cattle.
It's crazy.
I mean, I've seen it, in the yard at the house with the dog,
Yep.
But are you kidding me?
Same thing.
What's the hot take that you have for agriculture right now? Like, man, this is my hot take of where it's going.
Oh, man. You may not agree, so it makes it a hot take.
Oh, I love that.
I don't think direct-to-consumer marketing will ever be a majority of sales.
Go ahead.
I think we I know we feel this big push on social media.
Yep.
But there are a huge, I think I looked at the data the other day, and 4% of beef is sold direct to consumer.
I bet at one point in time there's going to be more total farms are direct to consumer than the other way. I think some of the big boys I just think these direct to consumer cow guys and girls are truly just because a lot of them are hobby farms.
Right.
And people just want to, they're great at branding themselves, they're great at marketing, and people want to know where their meat comes from.
Yep.
I think transactional wise, like number of farms, will be more direct to consumer down the road than anybody else. But the big players in the cattle game, I think, you're still going to go the OG route.
I think so too. I do think we will know. I think the beef industry, don't really have a hot take on farming. I'm just not as.
Yeah.
I mean, I know what's going on, but not enough to have a hot take. But the, on the beef industry, I think that there will be some consolidation on. There will have to be more story behind the animal, knowing where it comes from, and that's the EID tags, which is a pretty hot topic right now. Not that I want it to be mandatory, but if people are willing to pay to know where that animal came from my ranch, even though they bought it at Walmart, I think it's going to be a thing.
Yeah, I think it's time to realize that most consumers, it stops at the grocery store of where their food comes from, and at some point it's like, you got to go a little bit beyond that. And that goes back to what me and you talked about. It's on us, to be honest with you, to expose everybody to what farming and ranching is.
Right.
It's new media. What's next for Tucker Brown? What do you have in the lineup?
A new kid on the way.
Oh, boy, girl.
I don't know yet. We're 18 weeks along. My wife's coming to Vegas today. It's kind of our baby moon.
Can we do like maybe a gender reveal in Vegas?
I don't know. I don't know how we're gonna find out, but
okay. If it's a boy, what would you name him?
I'm
you're gonna get in trouble with
this. I'm pretty funny with names. I really like quarterback names. Is what I call them.
Yeah.
That kind of roll off the tongue. My wife and I have been talking about a few of them, but I love Dallas. I like the name Dallas. I like Stetson. But those are names that make me think of quarterbacks, and I like quarterback names.
That's awesome.
Even Stetson does. I know it's a rodeo brand and stuff, but it still makes me
like QB.
Yeah, it makes me think of QB1.
What else do you have down the pipeline? You're doing this. You're spreading the word. You're influencing the agriculture industry. Anything else you got coming down near 2, 3, 4 months?
Yeah, I'm doing some more speaking. I've really enjoyed the speaking gigs of just sharing. I do. I really do. Because I get paid to tell about the industry I love. What a job.
Yeah.
And so I've gotten a few speaking gigs coming up. One of them being the National Cattlemen's Beef Association and NCBA. I've got another one in Florida coming up, and I get to travel the country and do that. I hope, some of my future goals, I would love to be able to bring professional athletes, just to say a professional athlete out to the ranch, guide them on a hunt, get them on a horse, and get them on a podcast in that order. And so just to connect them back to the industry. And I say that because I really enjoy watching professional athletes. I think they're phenomenal. I've reached out. I have Cade Stover lined up, who's
I love Cade's been on this show.
Has he really?
Love Cade. Great friend of mine.
Dang.
Love him.
Hey, I'll put a word in.
Hey, Cade, if you're watching this, Tucker Brown.
Yeah, but I've made contact already, and we're working on getting that in. I would love Jim Nance, Tony Romo, those announcers who are really good at telling the story. I would love, and there's just a lot of other guys that I love sports, and so that's just kind of where I'm going. But getting those, having Matthew McConaughey come out, guide him on a hunt, get it, and just I feel like doing those three things can connect them to the land and give us a whole lot to talk about.
I'm telling you, and that's what we have been doing, and it's really cool to see these athletes that maybe not have come from rural America or the farm or the ranch, but they've made a lot of money, and that's the first thing they want to do.
Yeah,
buy a farm, buy a ranch. So I love that, man. I really do.
That's just the vision. Has it happened yet? No, but that's the vision.
I love that. I appreciate you coming on the show, man.
They're good questions. You were right. You had some really good questions lined up.
Thank you. I appreciate
fun too.
it, man.
Yeah, thank you.
I appreciate what you're doing, and continue fighting the fight. If there's anything we can do to help, let me know. But this has been awesome.
I appreciate it, dude. It's been an honor, and good to get to know you too.
Absolutely. Appreciate y'all tuning in to another episode of Like a Farmer. As always, catch us every Wednesday with a new episode dropping on YouTube or wherever you watch your audio podcast. Continue to like, comment, subscribe, share, do whatever you got to do to be like a farmer.